What's up, everyone? My name is Marissa. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been patiently awaiting my return. It's been a while. I went through a pretty big timeline leap back in March, and I've just been settling into these new grooves. I moved into a new home with my partner and our friends who are also a couple. I've been homeschooling my daughter Maya. I'm her soccer coach. I've been teaching Barth3 again, and I actually went through training all over again back in February. I've been invited to offer my breathwork and meditation and tarot services at local retreats here the past few months. So it's all been pretty busy to say the least, but very exciting nonetheless. And yeah, I'm super stoked and happy to have shared this journey with you guys and those that have been keeping up on like Instagram and TikTok. Thank you so much. I love this community so much, and I'm so happy to be sharing this space with you guys again. Very excited for today's topic, which is your current Dharma, where you're at and why you're there, with 4 aspects to each pile. The first aspect is what your higher self wants you to learn in this chapter. Next, we'll have resistances that are currently holding you back, the gifts and talents that will help you move forward, and lastly, the next step your higher self would like you to take. So there are 3 piles for you to choose from today. Take your time as always. Feel free to pause the video if you need to, and whenever you're ready, we'll hop right into today's readings. Hello, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. It's really great to be back with you guys in this space. I am talking a little bit more quietly just because I now have many more roommates than I did when I was doing this a few months ago. So I hope you can hear me okay. It's a new setup overall. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Really quick, just so you guys know, I am still offering breath and meditation containers, group containers, private containers. You can stay notified for the group containers when you subscribe to my mailing list. And of course, private and personal readings I am still doing. I've been doing this whole time that I've even been off of YouTube. And you can check out all of those offerings by heading to the description box below. So before we get into the actual reading, I just wanted to go through and map out each section of the reading for you guys. This first section, in terms of your current Dharma, where you're at and why you're there. First section is about what your higher self wants you to learn in this current chapter. We have an overall Dharma of our life, and we have Dharmas, smaller Dharmic missions that unfold throughout that overarching lifespan, right? So what this chapter is about: resistances that are currently holding you back, the gifts and talents that will help move you forward, move you through this chapter, and the next step that your higher self would like you to take. All right. So take a deep breath. You can stay through the shuffling portion, or you can skip right on past this. Spirit, we're asking those guides that are overseeing the group of souls that will be drawn to this pile today. We're asking, what is the higher self of these souls? What does the higher self want these souls to learn in this chapter? What does the higher self of these souls want them to learn in this chapter, please? Okay. I have no idea where I'm going to put these cards. We'll see as we go. What does the higher self of these souls want them to learn in this chapter, please? Okay, next, what are the resistances that are currently holding group number 1 back? Okay. Resistances that are currently holding this group back, please. Anything else? Okay. Now we're diving into the gifts and talents that help move group number 1 forward. Okay, this actually is supposed to be over here. gifts and talents that help move this group forward, please. And lastly, what is the next step higher self would like this group to take? All right, last little section here. Next step higher self would like this group to take. Okay, we got them. All right, and this is here for clarification. I'm just going to shuffle it once for good luck. Okay. All right, let's get into this. So, what does the higher self of group number 1 want this group of souls to learn during this chapter? Shield Maiden, make plans and focus, clean it up. Seems like there's some sort of shifting that wants to be had. All right, maybe you're being asked to get more clear about what it is that you want, and also just like tidying up your space. I'm hearing that this has to do mentally as well, because I do see the sword and think of the swords family. I think of the intellect, the level of the mind. So I feel like it might be different depending on who's watching this, but I feel like in terms of if it's going to be mostly an internal cleaning up or an internal shift versus an external, it's only a matter of time before the external follows. Okay, but I do feel that Spirit is wanting more structure in your life. You're asking to develop more structure and to take your internal realms more seriously. Before I go too much farther, I am going to get clarification from the tarot. So what does this have to do with, please, Spirit? Please break this down a little bit more. Yeah, you're definitely learning something. Learning how to be the steward, the devil. Yeah, okay, this is... Let's see, we have the 2 of Swords. And we have the 5 of Cups. This is learning how to become a greater alchemizer of the experiences that have occurred in your life. Also, this is like developing, more plans of action to overcome these karmic propensities. And maybe overcome is not the best word. Maybe transmute is better, because that gives it more of this feeling that, there's nothing wrong with having these aspects of self that kind of tie us down, these tethers that weigh us down. There's nothing wrong with those things. However, it seems like you've kind of maybe been in the same patterns for some time, and it's time to shift through those things. Okay, so maybe you are choosing to have a breath session with me, or maybe you are choosing to, these are things that you don't even have to pay for. There are places, Life Force Academy, there's organizations out there that offer many free offerings, containers to help shift and lift from a subtle level, right? And so it's like, I feel like there's an awareness of what's holding you back. There's an awareness of these like pockets of grief within you. And it just seems like there's kind of a rut more than anything. You've been in like an energetic rut and you're wanting to get out of it. And I feel like you've been maybe waiting for something to shift, but it's like those things won't shift until like these karmic things start to move. And it's like Spirit will keep you where you are, where you need to be long enough so those things can start to move. There's a lot of wisdom that you're meant to gain from this chapter that you're currently in. It seems like it's kind of maybe intense and to some degree, where there's a lot coming up for you and there's a lot to be learned. And it's kind of like you've reached a stalemate. You want to get out of this. You don't want to be here anymore, but Spirit's like, okay, yeah, like we can move through this. We'll move beyond this. It's like, you got to extract the wisdom from this first. And I am hearing that it's hard for you to like know where to go or what decision to make, what path to take. And it's like Spirit is keeping your external world kind of quieted down right now so you can really focus on, cleaning things up internally, vibrationally. This is not just, the level of the mind. Sure, the level of the intellect is very important here. This is like developing like tools, using tools to help calm the mind, to help calm your spirit, to help settle your nervous system. And it's like a lot of the time, awareness is the most subtle aspect of us, and subtle things break down denser things. And so when we shine the light of our awareness onto these aspects of ourselves that are sticky, that are weighing us down without us even knowing it, maybe we do know it, but we try to stay away from it. When we lean into those things and we pair things like breathwork, meditation, we're increasing our subtlety, we're increasing our awareness. So it makes breaking down these karmic things a lot easier. And moving through these things, shifting through these things becomes much easier. Okay, so I felt like there was an importance of lingering here a bit longer, but your higher self wants you to learn how to transmute these karmic patterns that it seems like you've been in for some time, and to not just, yes, awareness helps break down those subtleties, but there's almost like an acceleration that wants to be had. You're like, okay, I've been aware of this. How can I like speed up this process? And maybe too, you're getting stuck in a shame cycle of feeling not good enough, feeling like I have nothing to offer, feeling like why even bother going after the things that really inspire me because I end up getting disappointed anyways, right? Maybe you're caught in this like cycle of your mind, and what's really going to help you go beyond that is what you're meant to explore and extract from this chapter to help transmute these denser aspects of your life. Okay. So, check out a breath container with me, subscribe to my newsletter, see what this hype is all about. This is why I've dedicated my, life to, breath work and meditation as an extension of everything else that I offer, how much and how rapidly it has transformed me. And you guys are you guys are, in terms of your soul's evolution, very advanced. Dare I say, if you're on this channel, we have shared aspects of incarnations together. We're on the same realm. This is not even tooting my own horn. It's just, you can just be aware of these things without the ego being involved, right? And so if you guys are here, then I do know that all it takes is a little bit of nervous system settling and training your mind, helping the mind focus, strengthening the muscle of concentration just a little bit, and you guys are going to just like skyrocket, and you're going to get out of this rut that it seems like you've been in for some time. So we're going to move on. This is what higher self wants you to learn from this chapter. Moving on to resistances that are currently holding you back from doing what it is that you need to do, making these plans, focusing. Whoops, this is a little... Okay, let's see. We have divine timing. Yeah, it seems like there might be an impatience here. We have truth with, I believe that's judgment, accelerated motion. Yeah, you're just wanting to just take off, right? And heart chakra. Yeah, this is coming out of your head and coming into your heart, pile number 1. Okay, so I definitely was hearing that. That's essentially what settling the nervous system, breathwork, meditation helps us do. It helps us, again, tame the beast of the mind. And the more calm the mind becomes, the easier it is to allow our hearts to lead the way, to allow the wisdom of the heart to come through. There are aspects of this pocket, this rut that you're in, that might not make sense right now. But again, when the heart is aware, when the heart's active, there's no rush, right? Because we're here for an eternity. We have an eternity to play, so the heart's like, okay, I'm here now. It's kind of shitty. It's kind of uncomfortable. I've been here for a while, would rather not be here. But I know it's all good, and there's no rush. And it's weird because it almost seems like this has been true for me. The second that I stop trying to rush it, it actually accelerates things. The second that I am like, whatever, like, where am I trying to get to and for what? Trying to enjoy whatever pocket I'm in, because none of it lasts. It's all transient, right? So these are deep codes that you're assimilating right now. And there's a little bit of an impatience aspect that I'm hearing. It's like on some level, you feel a lot of energy, like building up within you. You feel a lot of, yeah, I don't know how else to say it. You feel a lot of potency, power bubbling beneath the surface. And you're like, when do I get to use this? When do I get to unleash this power? And again, with the truth card and the Hierophant coming up and, the heart chakra, I really do feel like this is a time to really integrate the shadow and to extract the wisdom that it has to teach you, essentially. Because I can tell this is really, really subtle in how it's going to relate to every person. And this that's drawn to this pile is going to be pretty different. But know that it's almost like your mind is trying to override the situation and assume that it knows what's best, right? There's a reason why people like Einstein said that the mind is the servant and intuition, that's the heart, is the master. And where many people go wrong is that they put the servant above the master. They put the mind above intuition, okay? The mind is just here to figure things out, right? Like your heart feels a stirring, like, oh my gosh, I really want to start reading again, right? I'm stoked. I didn't know if I would ever come back to this chapter on YouTube or what. I didn't know. I just, divine timing, right? And then once I felt that yearning in my heart's like, okay, yeah. I started getting people like a greater influx of personal readings. And then someone commented on my Instagram, missing your presence on YouTube, all these synchronicities. And then, okay, now my mind comes in to help set up, to figure out my new setup, right? Filming, this new dope, mic system that I got going. I got these big ass headphones on my head, like figuring out those little details, is what the mind's here to do, right? But intuition is guiding the way. That's just one tiny example of how this applies. But patience, right? There's, in terms of wrapping up resistances that are currently holding you back, impatience, and again, your mind overriding your heart, making it seem like you're not where you're supposed to be. If you weren't supposed to be here, my friends, you wouldn't. All right. So it's all perfect. You're exactly where you're meant to be. So gifts and talents that help move you forward. We have baby steps. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. You guys, I've missed this so much. I really have. This is beautiful. Love when the message is just so clear, so straightforward. So yeah, the mind is overriding your heart. And maybe there are things with the Two of Swords that came up. Maybe there are paths that have come up and you're just like, I don't know which one to choose, because you're trying to choose it from the level of the cerebellum versus the level of the heart. I wish I knew a fancier word for heart. The Anahata chakra. All right. So yeah, don't let your mind override. And sometimes it's easier said than done, but over time you start to gain enough evidence for your mind that that's the only way to live. Like, it's the biggest cheat code in life. It's like, oh my God, I just follow my heart. And trust me, I made a huge transition back in March that like completely shifted my entire timelines entirely. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I had like taken the bait of all the little ways that my mind was like, well, what about this? What about this? All the tiny ways that like just are so irrelevant. It's like, it will be figured out, right? But my heart, your heart, pile number one, sorry, maybe there might be something for you too, is pushing you in a certain direction, right? And the mind is the ego. I correlate that to just protection mechanisms, right? And even a healthy ego does have discernment, right? A healthy sense of I. Ahamkara is what it is, the Sanskrit word for the sense of I-ness in this individuated form. Okay, so every one of us is going to have a healthy ahamkara, a healthy sense of I. However, where it begins to become a little bit destructive is when those protection mechanisms override our better judgment, our better wisdom. Okay. And so you're being asked to allow the mind to kind of take a back seat, and over time you will gain the evidence that your mind needs of like, oh yeah, so true. Like, she's got me, or, the heart's got me. I can just like really trust this is going to unfold. And that's part of the fun, is not knowing how it's going to unfold. Part of the fun is like being surprised along the way and just seeing how things work out. That's the hero's journey, right? Those are the podcasts we like to listen to, the books we like to read. It's like where the plot twist, you're like, oh my God, how did they do it? That's what we're here for. That's the adventure. That's what the human spirit thrives off of, right? Not stability, not like, well, here I go. But, it just, all of the ways that modern culture has just tried to give us a sense of security. And we're starting to see more and more how secure that really is, right? Might as well take the risk in the direction that has a greater payoff, the payoff of your wildest dreams actually coming true. Okay, so we have 4th house, home, some Cancerian energy. These are gifts and talents that move you forward. So I feel like in some aspects, you are very aware of the mechanism of intuition, and maybe it is, it's one of those things where we can know these things, we can have beautiful, high philosophical ideas and truths, but when it comes to applying them in our own lives, like you might even be the person with this Virgo energy coming up, 2 6s, by the way, where you are really good at giving sound advice and you can really help people transform their lives. But when it comes to like applying that to your own life, it might be a bit more challenging. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're working with many layers of karma, right? Familial karma, collective karma, personal karma, which I'm beginning to wonder more and more if our personal karma is just not just our collective share that we're biting off for this lifetime, either way, it's our karmic propensities, tend to affect our life and how free we feel. So it doesn't really matter. As long as you're working through it, it's all helping everything, generational, familial, collective, etc. So it seems that you guys do have a yearning to use your gifts and to, this Virgo and energy tells me that you guys are a group of souls that you are actually really gifted at what it is that you have to offer. It's funny. I have this joke that like this type of Virgoan energy, whether or not you have it in your chart, this tells me that you're like this, tends to like stand out in whatever it is that they're trying. I've met Virgos that are just like touring musicians that have been traveling for years. And I have met Virgos that like whatever niche they're in, they just tend to really like have this unmatchable like energy about them that makes them like kind of like an anomaly that sets them apart, and they don't even have to try. You guys have that kind of it factor in terms of the gifts and talents that you're here to offer to the world. Okay. And you do have a very strong intuition with this Cancerian energy. And I feel like you guys are naturally very nurturing individuals. You want to leave the world a better place. You guys are very in tune with spirit. You guys want to serve. You guys aren't just here for yourselves. You guys are definitely here to uplift the planet. And I feel like you've always felt that you are here for something greater, something bigger than just like serving your own needs and just like making the money, making it just to get by. Okay. And I feel like you have seen in many ways just how in tune you are. Getting a lot of synchronicities is what I'm getting. I feel like in areas where the pressure seems less pressurized, it's easy for you to kind of follow your intuition and watch things unfold in such a way that just blows your mind, blows your socks off, okay? But it becomes more challenging in areas that it's more challenging, or where your karma is stronger, where it's heavier. So maybe this has something to do with like a career change, a change of living, states, cities, whatever. I just feel like there's kind of a shift that's wanting to happen environmentally, and it's going to happen. It's just like first spirit wants you to clean up this internal debris and this to get your mind a little bit focused. That's what the spiritual journey is all about. Spirituality is just a shift in attitude, which is just a shift in perception, and our perception shifts and expands when we learn how to, that's what yoga is all about. It's the science of the mind. When we learn how to study the mind, to not let the mind have its way with us, right? And so it seems like that's kind of over all what this chapter is about. And the more settled your mind becomes too, the more you're going to receive those divine downloads, those truths whispered into your spirit of like why you're here and the next steps to take. And like, yeah, it's all, I just see it so clearly. It's just like a little bit of work in the area of settling the mind, the nervous system, etc. And you guys are going to skyrocket. Okay. So yeah, you might have some solid fourth house placements, some solid Virgo placements. You actually might have, an aspect where Virgo, a planet, is in the fourth house in Virgo. Doesn't have to be the case. This is just overall giving me a good feel into the type of souls that you guys are. Very nurturing, very loving, not just here for your own betterment. It's like we rise together kind of energy. You might also have some good Aquarian energy, Aquarian placements. Okay, so the last aspect of this reading, my friends, is the next step your higher self would like you to take. We have adjustments are required. Okay, was that not what was coming? Thanks. We got that. Love the final confirmation of it. Yeah, Spirit really wants you to get into some sort of consistent practice. Okay, this doesn't just have to be breath work. Like there's, I'm a Bar 3 instructor, so I'm going to shout this company out. Bar 3's everywhere, right? There's different ways that we can, the mind, the body, the nervous system, it's all interconnected. So when you work to calm one, or you release tension from one, you help release tension from another. You make it easier for everything else to uplift. If your nervous system is shot, that's going to influence your mind. Your thoughts are going to be shot. If your thoughts are shot, your nervous system is going to be shot. But if you're like working on the level of the body to calm your body, they say our issues are in our tissues, right? So you're doing breath work, you're working out in some way, maybe just going for walks, going for hikes. You're releasing this tension, this deep tension stored in the deep cellular tissues. I don't know how else to say that. It's going to make it easier for the tension from your mind to also be released. Okay. So there's definitely some things to shift in terms of like, maybe you're already doing all of this and maybe you're overextending yourself. Maybe you're doing it too much. Okay. There's definitely let your intuition be the guide here, but it's probably something you're already aware of, already aware that you should be doing, or that could be beneficial. I should never say should. That could be beneficial for you. And I just saw 777. Yeah. And you're just going to skyrocket. Okay. This card says obstacles are detours in the right direction. This is so beautiful. So this pause that you're in, it's not an accident. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just that we have a built-in mechanism in each incarnation that helps us get to where we wanted to be from the level of a soul and from the level of, playing the piece that we came to play. Karma and Dharma go hand in hand. You did have the Devil card come up, which is my card for karma. Like heavier karma especially. And so as we're working through our karma, our Dharma becomes more obvious, because generally the things that we're here to set ourselves free from end up being something we're really passionate about, and we share it with the world. And it becomes part of, in some way, what we're here to extend, right? It's part of the gifts that you're here to offer, the things that you're meant to bring to the collective at this time, your own unique medicine. You're learning that right now. But there are some things to consider, some things to shift around in your life. If there's anything else that Spirit wants to come through, this is the time, or forever hold your peace. At least until the next video comes out. Am I right? Okay, nothing. We'll do it one more pass through just to see. Nope. Okay. So yeah, the message is pretty much loud and clear. You guys have been nudged in certain directions. There's been certain things that have piqued your curiosity. Maybe you've been putting some things off. You're like, oh, not this week. I'll check out that, I'll check out Marissa's offerings later, or I'll check out that new live stream or that free live stream the next time they offer it. Stop putting things off, my friends. Okay. This is your healthy kick in the butt. I am here on behalf of your higher self. All right. That's why you're tuning into this. And yeah, you're exactly where you're meant to be. All right. The obstacles are here to point you where you're supposed to be. Again, like Spirit was just reiterating, our karma and our Dharma go hand in hand. Karmic propensities are here to point you in the direction of your Dharma. Okay. So it's all where you're to be, all in perfect timing. You are going to skyrocket. Let me tell you, the energy you feel bubbling beneath the surface, it doesn't lie. A little bit of settling in your nervous system and increasing your radiance and just bringing your energy back into the central channel. I'm getting a little bit of scattered energy right now. When you bring it back into, the spot that is going to, in the central channel versus being so scattered all over, like you're just going to have to barely lift a finger and things are just going to like fall into place for you. Okay. Spirit is wanting to actually make things a lot easier for you by helping you integrate these shadow aspects a bit more. And I feel like it's not even too heavy. It's just, again, just cleaning it up, just like tidying it up a little bit. All right. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything, please leave those in the comment section. If this was your pile today, leave a broom down below. Do we have a broom emoji? If not, let's leave a sword. If this was your pile today, it's so great to be back here with you guys. I felt you guys here with me in this group, this collective reading. So good to be back. And yeah, please like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. This all helps these beautiful, confirmative, powerful messages reach those souls that they need them more and more. The more that you just take the time to click couple things here and there. Yeah, that's it for now. Much love, group number 1. What is up, group number 2? It's so good to be back in this space with you guys. Just before we get into the reading, a few announcements. I'm still offering breath and meditation containers. I do private containers, and I do also offer group containers once in a while. And those are generally donation-based containers. And if you want to stay in the loop for any group things that I offer or any other type of launches, and to be the first to hear about those, you can subscribe to my newsletter, my mailing list. And of course, I'm still offering private and personal readings, and you can check out all of that by heading to the description box below, as always, to get into these readings. I'm so excited for this today. The topic is your current Dharma, where you're at and why you're there. There are 4 aspects to these readings. The first is what your higher self wants you to learn in this chapter. Next are the resistances that are currently holding you back, the gifts and talents that will help move you forward, and lastly, the next step your higher self would like you to take. All right, so you can stick around for the shuffling portion of this reading, or you can skip ahead by heading to the timestamps in the description box below. Let's get into this. So we're calling upon the guides of those beings that are drawn to this group today. We're asking, what is it that higher self currently wants these beings to learn in this chapter they're in? Okay. What is it that higher self wants these souls to learn in this chapter, please? Okay. Next, we're getting into spirit, the resistances that are currently holding this group back. Resistances currently holding this group back, please. Resistances holding this group back. And we'll go one more time. Okay. Now we're asking the gifts and talents that help move this group forward. Wow, okay. We'll keep those. Gifts and talents that help move this group forward, please. And the next step higher self would like this group to take. All right. All right, let's get into this. Group number 2. Super excited. So what your higher self wants you to learn in this chapter. These are just for clarification. I'm going to give it one good shuffle for good measure. There, we'll leave them over there. Okay, so what does higher self want this group to learn in this chapter? We have Moon, take note of intuitive messages, and we have happy, happy. Let's get a little bit deeper. Yeah, ultimately, your intuition is leading you to happiness. I mean, as cheesy and as redundant as that might sound. You're getting a lot of messages and synchronicities in this moment about the timelines that will lead to your greatest happiness. Yeah, 4 of Wands, celebration, finding your tribe, finding the people that you're meant to celebrate with, that you're meant to work with in this life. We have the 4 of Swords. We have 4 cards right away. So things might be feeling like they're moving a little bit slow at this time. Things are just rewiring in your reality. We have the 2 of Cups. You guys might be at a point where you guys are just feeling really good, honestly, where things are going really well for you. And you might have met a partner recently or within the last year or so, or the past even 2 to 4 months. We're seeing a lot of 4s, 2 to 8 months even. You might be meeting more of your tribe, more people that just bring out your best self, that allow your heart space to open. And honestly, you might be questioning it a little bit. Is what I'm getting. You can ask for signs and synchronicities, confirmations from the universe. This is something I heard from this awesome being on this planet, Matthias de Stefano. He is a Gaia host and is just one of the most incredible beings, channels that I have come across in this incarnation. And I actually did this recently, and it's insane how quickly the universe brought the confirmations that I was asking for. And I even forgot that I even asked for confirmation, and then it came, and then my guides are like, hold up, make sure you're paying attention to this, because this is what you were asking for. So he essentially said that he doesn't trust his lower mind. He's like, I don't have confidence in myself. He was saying it like lower self. He's his first language is Spanish, so it's a little bit translation or the way that he delivers things sometimes they just aren't the way that you and I might word things if English is your first language. But besides the point, he was essentially saying that he'll ask the universe to show him. He'll say, show me what's my right path. And that's so beautiful, because that just takes the pressure off of us trying to figure it out, or when the heart is saying one thing and the mind comes up with a million reasons why it's not a good idea, or it's not going to lead us down the path of true happiness, or essentially the protection mechanisms think that they know better and try to override or higher judgment, right? So maybe asking just show me. Show me, is this person supposed to be in my life in this way? Show me. I feel like this is in my heart. I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. I feel like this is the direction I'm supposed to go. Show me. Just ask them to, you don't even have to ask for anything specific, and let yourself just be blown away by what comes through. Okay, but it seems like things are going really well for you, and again, you might have met a partner or be meeting more friends, more soul family, and things might seem like they're going really well, and you're better than you could have ever anticipated or expected for your life, or something that you might have been pushing off into the far future, and you're already experiencing it. And I feel like the biggest thing higher self wants you to learn is you can accept this degree of happiness, and it's only going to get brighter from here. Because you've really done the work. You've done the work to meet your shadow. You've done the work to dive into those aspects of your subconscious that are hard to meet with this moon energy. And of course, it's only, shining the light of your awareness on those darker aspects is only going to free you up, right? Light, awareness, same thing, right? Shining that on the less integrated parts of ourselves. It's going to release the tethers, right? It's going to lighten your load, so to speak. And of course, you're only going to get happier the more courageous you become in addressing these things, diving into those aspects of self that maybe have avoided for some time, and that you're finally tackling. You've been finally addressing the past few years. This is beautiful. Lots to celebrate, a lot to be happy about. 2 of Pentacles, so new directions. There's busyness. I'm getting a sense of you're busier, and there's just many more things going on for you, juggling your schedule, trying to figure out how everything is falling into place. Kind of just a new kind of energy is what I'm getting as you establish yourself in this new timeline. Look, we have another 4. We have 2 2s and 2 4s. So 4 4 2, 2 2 2, 4 4 4. What did 2 2 4, whatever, 4 4 4. These might be signs and synchronicities that you get, that you've been getting before this reading, during this reading, after this reading. 10 of Pentacles, you're working for like your long-term happiness. Okay. So this is so beautiful, you guys. It really seems like what your higher self wants you to learn is to like receive the abundance that you deserve. Receive the abundance, not even that you deserve, but that just like from being in alignment, you know, it's only a matter of time when you're doing the work and you're not fighting your karma, right? That's the thing about Dharma. Dharma and karma go hand in hand. So you guys have really been like taking your karmic ties, taking your karmic lessons and just your karmic propensities, taking them and just owning them and not running from them. You've really done the work to face them. And so you've been feeling the abundance internally. And of course, it's only a matter of time before it shows externally. And I feel like you're starting to see the influx of external evidence of your internal alignment and all the work that you've done. Like, it feels like a celebration. Life feels very exciting for you guys right now. And it really is just about, I feel like, fine-tuning your perception and letting your mind, releasing the mind a little bit more. I just saw 10:10 on the clock and we got another 10. So yeah, big energies, big completion energies, like tying off loose ends, freeing yourself from karmic knots that might have been following you for some time. We have the 3 of Pentacles and we have the 4 of Cups. So it's like you're leaving this period. Yeah, I feel like with the 4 of Cups energy, it's almost like, it's like waiting for the shoe to drop, or it's like, can I really trust this? Like, is this really, you know, how life is? And it's like, life is always going to have ebbs and flows, right? But you're just going up. So your ebbs today are like a high point years ago is what I'm hearing. And it's just going to continue to get that. Like, your lows or your ebbs are like some other person's like dream, right? And so there's so much here about celebrating with kindred souls and community and growing together, learning together, a lot of financial prosperity, financial abundance. This is about leaning into all of those projects that inspire you, even if it's like you don't see the fruits of it yet. You know, you're just building momentum energetically, and it's only a matter of time. And I feel like you guys are already, those people drawn to this pile are already seeing those things. You guys are already seeing evidence of the hard work you've put in over the years. You're meeting soulmates, you're meeting soul family, falling in love, you know, just dancing with life, celebrating with life. This is all very beautiful. And yeah, I feel like just paying attention, Spirit is really highlighting paying attention to those new projects that you want to start and those people that you want to work with, and the ways, you know, those repetitive messages like that you continue to get about working with certain people, reaching out to certain people, collaborating with people in some sort of way, because we are in a time of collective wisdom. We are in a time where the age of Aquarius, it's all about rising together. And yeah, it just feels good. This is a good energy and I'm here for it. I want to revel in this even more. Oh my gosh, look, we had another 4. So another 4 did end up coming up. 4 4 4. Good numbers, good messages, you guys. So this is just a basking. Honestly, you're in a period of basking, and I feel like what higher self really wants to reiterate and drive home here is how easy it is. You know, we in our culture, there's so many repetitive messages about you have to work hard and you have to, like, it has to, you know, life's a bitch and then you die. You know, that's like a message on our planet, and that's not the truth, right? And truth always sets us free. Truth always feels expansive and good and exciting. And so I feel like you're really like walking your talk, and higher self just wants you to bask in it. And it's almost like with all those 10s that came up, it's like, yes, the scales have tipped and you're on, like, it's going to be smooth sailing. And again, it's not that life will not present challenges, because we're masters. Masters are always fine tuning themselves. However, it's going to be less, your faith is going to be less tested, right? Your faith muscle is just getting stronger and stronger, to where a challenge will present itself and there's not a part of you that has any type of unwavering faith. You're like, I know this is going to work out. Like, and you know, cool. Like, just another passing and going thing, you know, another transient experience on this plane, but I know I'm good. I know I'm supported. It's like you're really tapping into that happiness that cannot be affected by external circumstances, a happiness that truly is sourced from within, sourced from your connection to your higher self, from following that North Star, following your pull, your reason for being here, right? This is very beautiful. You guys are definitely on the path of Dharma for sure. So let's get into resistances that might be holding you back. I like really had to shuffle. I don't know if you guys stuck around for the shuffling portion, but I was like, I shuffled this deck like 3 or 4 times, and only one card came out. So I'm like, okay, not too many resistances, I feel. We have pray and we have partnerships and alliances. So maybe that's it. You know, we had so much about community here, and maybe your biggest thing is like, just getting out there and celebrating more with friends, like connecting more, taking the initiative to reach out and making more plans, right? You say you want this community. You say you want to, you know, be part of this or to create this community. So start doing it. Start, you know, inviting people over, or start, you know, hosting full moon circles at your house with, you know, 2 people, 3 people, whoever shows up. Do those group things. Launch that group online course, that group container that you've been, you know, getting downloads from in meditation, or wherever you've been getting downloads from, or whatever the best way for you to connect with spirit and receive those messages. Do that. Yeah, and yeah, there might be an aspect too. Again, this pray is kind of reminding me of like the asking for a sign kind of energy. Not relying on your own lower will, right? Praying is kind of like opening yourself up and saying, I surrender my lower will, right? From my will to thy will. And I feel like if anything, I might just be dealing with a group of highly sensitive beings, highly sensitive individuals. And so it's like on one hand, part of your karmic propensities might be that it's just like, can be challenging to like get around other people to some extent. But when you're actually there, you're like, oh, this is fun. But I feel like I'm dealing with a group of souls that are highly sensitive, and it can be, at least in the past, has been really draining to be around people. But things are shifting. And I feel like also there's a message here of like, you are someone's answered prayer. The medicine you have is someone's answered prayer. Okay. And in big ways and small ways, just the way you carry yourself, group number 2, in your day-to-day interactions, the way that you like go out of your way to like connect with people that the rest of the world has seemed to have forgotten about. Like, you are someone's answered prayer. And I do feel that you are here to connect with people on like a physical level. So online, sure, if that resonates with you, but I also feel like you're here to work with people where you're like meeting in person, where people can feel your energy. They can feel your sincerity. For some people, for some of those souls drawn to this group, of course, that's going to be online as well. But I do feel like your magic, people really experience your magic in person, and they can see your eyes and they can feel your energy. They're in your auric field, so to speak. But yeah, don't isolate. This is not the time to isolate. There's so much here about getting out there, and you're in this new chapter. So you might have just some like remnants of old energies lingering, where maybe you went through Kundalini activations and it was like your nervous system was so shot and it was hard for you to like exist around people. I get it. I've been there. Maybe you're going through that right now, or you're just like super sensitive again. Don't hide yourself from the world. The world wants your light. They need your light exactly as you are. It's so inspiring being around people who are just themselves, wholeheartedly, and aren't trying to prove anything, and, you know, flaws and all, which flaws are not a thing, right? That's making of the mind, but you're just honoring your incarnation for what it is and not resisting it, right? Just showing up wholeheartedly as you are, where you are, and sinking into your heart. But yeah, get out there. Okay. That might be something that you're like, you know, you're like, I want to do this more. And then the time comes, the opportunities come to where you're invited to a party or you're invited to some sort of gathering. And then you're like, well, I'm not really feeling it. Like, don't do that, group number 2. Like, the world needs your energy. And I feel like it's just like anything else. The more that you do it, the more you're going to just feel natural and like calm and in your body while you're doing it. Okay. So next we are going to get into the gifts and talents that help move you forward in this life. We have think. So great Mercurian energy here. Very connected to your higher self, very open crown, very creative individual is what I'm getting. That might also be part of like what can throw you off sometimes is when the mind becomes too active. But I'm hearing that you're quite the intellectual. You verbalize things very well, very artistic, very poetic is what I'm getting. Venus, beloved, your heart goes before you. You're easy to love. It's easy for you to love other people. I feel like, again, I'm getting this very poetic type of living where you're like a rebel with a cause, where it's like, I don't want to say hopeless romantic. I want to say hopeful romantic. Like, you guys are hopeful romantics, and not just in the sense of partnerships, like not just in the sense of romantic partnerships, but in the sense of life, right? You're a hopeful romantic for life. You're a dreamer. You're a visionary. You believe that your deepest aspirations aren't just put there for no reason. Like, you believe that you deserve those things, or that you're here for a special purpose. Okay. And not saying that some of us are more special than others at all, but it's just being aware and just being honest that you've felt this for some time. And I feel like that's something that's really moved you forward in general. I don't feel like you guys need too much of a push right now, other than the fact that there might just be some remnant chords of when you were like rejected or bullied or put down, or the people that loved you the most were the least supportive of you and your dreams, etc. I feel like there's just some past memories in your field that are kind of like keeping you a little bit more to yourself at this time, or keeping you from like reaching out to those people or being part of groups that are more reflective of your current self, not going back to old energies, old people, old groups just because it's safe. And like, okay, she said I'm supposed to connect with people. No, but like really going after those relationships and those people, those friend groups that are much more reflective of where you're currently at. All right. But you are so easy to love. Group number 2, like people fall in love with you. Like people truly fall in love with you. And I feel like you don't even know how many I just saw good vibes. My eyes just like landed on this lighter, good vibes. Like when you're not in the room, people are like, I really like that person's energy. They're like, I want to like hang out with this person more. Like that person was so real. I just feel like you're just a breath of fresh air for the people that you meet. And it's good for you to remember that everywhere you go, like people feel your heart, people feel the purity of your intentions. All right. And to not let those subconscious lingerings, hold you back. There's so much here about your gifts and your abundance, and your happiness is only getting bigger and brighter from here. And a big part of that, it has to do with the people that you're meeting, the connections that you're making, the connections that you want to make. I'm seeing three here. Okay. So that might also be a number for you, but yeah, you're definitely meant to touch the lives, and you already have of many, many people. Next, we have empathic starseed. What the fuck was I just saying? Oh my God. Okay. I thought I would be over the excitement by now of just like tarot and oracles and just divination in general, but it never gets old. So what were we just saying? Yeah, you're very empathic. You really tend to absorb or just to really pick up what other people are experiencing. And if we're not careful, sometimes it feels like we can pick up their energy, and then we start to like attach their energy, like attach narratives to their energy. And so that's how we make it our own. Okay. But what I have learned is there's no such thing as exchanging energy. We don't exchange energy. You can notice what someone's feeling and be aware of it, but when you leave it alone and you don't attach narratives to what they're going through, you don't attach narratives to their expression or your own expression, it's just something you notice. It's just information. It's not something that you have to take on. Okay. And that's why empaths can tend to feel so heavy, because they feel the energy of other people. And they can adopt it, right, by attaching those narratives to it. So again, this is just confirmation of the times that you've felt rejected, or you have felt like you were just someone's punching bag, or someone was just like vomiting on you with their energy, or, like this tells me you're a group of souls where it's really easy for people to open up about their deepest, darkest things, because you have done so much work, you have done so much shadow integration that they can feel this is a safe space for my shadow to come up, versus, majority of the population does not feel safe about their shadow. There's so much shame attached to their shadow because they don't understand the mechanism of the shadow and how it's part of being alive on this planet. It's not bad. It's part of this expression. It's part of this incarnation. And so I feel like, again, that just might be something that you're working, or that is a gift it feels like a curse until we remember or we recognize the different dimensions of it and how to use it as the gift that it's meant to be. It's not a curse, right? Every part of our dharma feels like a curse when it's still in the other side of the coin, which is its karma or its shadow or its unintegrated aspect, right? But dharma is awareness, it's light, it's integration, it's transmutation, it's alchemy, right? And so one of your greatest gifts is being able to deeply feel what other people are experiencing, putting yourself in other people's shoes. I am getting powerful Aquarian energy for sure. So maybe I have some fellow Saturn Aquarians here where it feels like your duty, part of your cosmic duty on this planet is to help other people become free and seeing others as brother and sister, right? So that's one of your greatest gifts. And that's why you work so well with people. People don't feel judged in your presence. They feel like they can come as they are. It's like they feel seen because they can tell their story to you, but because you're not attached to that story being their identity and you're aware, you're spiritually evolved enough to understand this is just part of like what makes their earthly incarnation possible. It's just like this part of this temporary play. It's not the truth of who they are. They can feel that. And so they can also breathe simultaneously. So they're healing those wounds. They're healing that narrative, but then they're also simultaneously feeling that they can go beyond that. Like they can step beyond that they're not tethered to that they can have more space to invite a more serving narrative, a freer narrative, a freer version of self, a more relevant version of self through. Next, we have the golden children, inner child tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. Yeah, you guys do have gifts that are, rare, that this planet hasn't seen. You guys are very evolved souls, cosmic explorers. Earth, I would be bold to say, is not your native planet. And even if it is, even if you've spent majority of your incarnations within this dimension on Earth, you've definitely been around the celestial block, to say the least. The golden children are beings that, souls that come straight from source, and whether or not that resonates with you, that's all to say that you've done a lot of purification to where your vibration is much more pure, I guess, than many other people. And again, it's not a hierarchy. Sometimes, it's language, so bear with me, but you've had so many incarnations, and the purpose of incarnations, you have leaned into the purpose of incarnations, which is to integrate, right? Is to coming back to the light. And you've done a lot of integration. You've done a lot of coming back to the light. And so your vibration alone on Earth is so necessary because you're helping to increase the average, so to speak, the average levels of consciousness. Such a lover, such a bright being. You just like send shock waves. You're like walking sunshine, truly, on this planet. So I feel like anything you align to could, work. But again, I feel like there is something very specific with the rare gifts, a very specific niche that you're here to fill, a very specific role that you're here to fill. Lastly, your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. So yeah, this is like life is flowing through you. You could be a musician or somehow in music, somehow or even a writer, whatever artistic thing you're doing. There's so many. I sometimes hate giving examples because I swear there's only 10 examples that people end up going back to. But there's so many different things. I saw this person on TikTok. She makes tic-tac-toe things, but out of clay, polymer clay, and she glazes them, but she'll make the shape of a waffle or a pancake, and then one of the pieces will be butter, and another piece, the other team, will be strawberries, and something it's so unique, and she has thousands of followers, and that's her abundance. She's happy, she's living in flow from what you can see, what you can feel, as much as you can get a glimpse from social media, right? But it's just she's doing her thing, she's on her path, and she is seeing the ramifications, the evidence of her being in alignment, because she's being supported this way, she's receiving income, people are probably reaching out to her, companies, sponsorships, etc. So it can look like so many different things, so many different ways that your artistic creativity can flow through you. But yeah, you're definitely not here for a 9-to-5. Maybe that's part of it, sure, but I feel like this group, majority of you, if not all of you, are not here for a traditional thing, right? This is something that is pouring through you. You're a walking testimony of what happens when higher self pours through you, and just like how things will unfold naturally, right? That might be another reason why it's hard for you to go get around other people, because you can feel their projections, their lack mentality projecting onto you. Or like you might have family members or, you know, something like that, friends that are like, oh, are you sure? Like, are you sure you don't want to get this normal job? It has like benefits. And, you know, like that might be a reason, because like you can feel other people's judgment so strongly. You can feel their lack projections so strongly. And if you still have remnants of those within your own field, it's going to be easier for you to like attach to those narratives. And so maybe that's why you've been in isolation for some time, because you're like, no, I know there's another way, and I got to get solid in my own field before I get back out there. And so, yeah, you're good. Just always ask, what's my truth? Show me, right? And be around other people. Let them spew all their things about their benefits and UPS and whatever. I'm not hating you guys. I'm really not. But this is just like examples. Spirit is showing me examples in my own life of how this shows up. And I'm just, you know, the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. Okay. Don't shoot me. Okay. Don't shoot the messenger. But yeah. So be around those people and then just ask Spirit, show me. All right. What's truth? What's my truth? What's my path? Because it doesn't matter if your path is to be a UPS driver in this life and to have all the benefits and the retirement down the line, then you're going to feel good doing that. You know, if it's your path, you're going to feel good no matter what, no matter how it looks on the outside. So show me, right? And you'll be shown. Trust that. Lastly, the next step your higher self would like you to take: expect powerful change. Fuck yes. Expect it, group number 2. You're already doing it. You're already there. Like, this is a new moon eclipse. Not only is it a new moon, it's a freaking eclipse. So it's magnified like 10,000 fold. Okay, you guys are locked in. You guys are on your right path, and it's only getting better from here. And just like ditch the bullshit of the mind, right? And you're meant to be a beacon. You're meant to shine. You know, you guys are humble-hearted people. Like, you're tender soul, so pure, so gentle, but yet so freaking powerful. Okay, you are medicine for this planet, and you are here to offer a unique medicine that only you can offer. And you're already doing it. I see many of you are already doing it. Some of you have done it before. You've taken a break. You're just like gathering yourself again, but you're meant to be like in the public eye. You're meant to be known by people, like known for your gifts in this area. You're meant to be known. Okay, you're meant to be recognized as a healer or as someone that is like recognizable in this field, someone that people are like, oh, this person, like, go talk to this person, go seek this person's gifts, like you're gonna have a breakthrough, or like this person is the real deal. You know, that's what people say about you. Okay. Wow. I'm stoked. This is great energy to soak in. Next we have, I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. So not worrying about how it looks, again, putting higher self above everything, above anything, right? And again, honoring that means too, whatever expansion looks like, right? A more expanded consciousness sometimes feels like a little bit of going outside of our box, about going outside of our normal, but doing whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness is like, where's my intuition guiding me? And am I doing that? Am I acting on that to the best of my ability, or am I making excuses? Am I procrastinating? Am I putting things off? No, we're doing this shit, okay? Lastly, the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. And I feel like this is just a reminder that we always need, no matter how long we've been on our path, right? We don't need to know how it looks, right? We just need to know what love feels like and follow that, right? We don't need proof, right? It's not about following, like, if we don't know what truth feels like, or what's truth, okay, where is my heart guiding me towards? What feels the most expansive to my heart? That's truth. That's your truth. Because on this level, truth is relative. We do have absolute truth, sure, but on this level of earth, this plane of polarity, we're working with relative truth, okay? And so your heart will not lead you in a false direction. And you guys are already open-hearted people. And so even before you even knew all of this shit, all of these terms, all of this spiritual thing, you guys had a really good compass. You guys were naturally really good at following your heart and not letting your mind take over, okay? This is so beautiful. You guys are on it, continuing to realign with love, shutting the mind off. Show me, Spirit. Show me my right path. and keep asking, because it's all you. It's your universe. Y-O universe. This is your university. It's all us. It's all one. It's all benign. It all wants the most epic life for you. And you guys are walking beacons of that. And you're definitely meant to inspire many, many people on this planet. If you haven't already, if you're not already, you're meant to. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave this reading here for now. I hope this brought clarity, confirmation, and peace to your heart today. If this was your reading, go ahead and leave let's leave cups down below. 2 of cups. We're going to get out there, reaching our hands out, celebrating with our soul family, and like this video. This all helps. Subscribe. It all helps these messages reach more people when and if they need them. All right, my friends, talk soon. Much love. Hello. What is up? Group number 3. I'm so stoked to have you guys here with me. I've been missing this so much, but I gotta follow what I dish out. And for a little bit there, I was not guided to really come on here. And I actually wondered if it would be something that I was ever inspired to do again, live readings or group readings. I'm sorry. I've definitely been doing them at events and people still getting personal readings. And I'm just so happy to be doing this, because during the personal readings, just so much joy overflows when you're connected to spirit, and we're just, reminding each other what we all know to be true about this path and what we're here for. And so very excited. A couple of announcements. I'm still offering breath and meditation containers, and of course, private and personal readings. You can check out all of my offerings by heading to the description box below. You can also subscribe to my mailing list, my newsletter, to stay in the loop for when I do donation-based and free courses or free workshops or gatherings, breath circles, etc. So we're going to go ahead and get right into today's topic, your current Dharma, where you're at and why you're there. There are 4 aspects to this reading today. First is what your higher self wants you to learn in this chapter. Next are the resistances that are currently holding you back, the gifts and talents that will help move you forward, and lastly, the next step that your higher self would like you to take. All right, so we're just going to jump right into this. You can skip past this, or you can stick around for the shuffling portion. So we're calling upon those guides that are overseeing the group of souls drawn to this pile today. We're asking, what does higher self want this group of souls to learn in this chapter? What is the lesson in this chapter for this group of souls, please? What is the lesson in this chapter? Okay. What's the lesson in this chapter? What does higher self want this group to learn? All right. What are the resistances that are currently holding this group back? Resistances holding this group back, please. All right. What are the gifts and talents that help this group move forward? Beautiful, powerful group for sure. I can already feel it. All right. Gifts and talents that help this group move forward. Oh my God. Okay. Can we just... All right. They're gifted, spirit. They're gifted. We get it. Can we just narrow it down? Let's sum it up. Give me a summation of the gifts. There might not be a message in this pile, this deck today. We'll do it one more time to see if there's a message in this deck. Oh my God. All right, we're just going to leave it with this. And lastly, the next step higher self would like this group to take. Collective message from the higher self. What's the next step for this group? Next step, please. Okay. Anything else? No peaks. All right, and then this is our clarifying deck. I'm just going to shuffle it once for good measure. Okay, let's dive into this. Okay, so what higher self wants this group to learn in this chapter, please? We have seer, see beyond the current situation. And we have soulmates. Beautiful. Okay, let's get deeper because this could mean so many different things. Might have to do with you're questioning something that's happening in your life, happening with a group of souls or maybe one person in particular. More details, please. Just a reminder to not take things at face value, and that things, matters of the mind and matters of the heart and soul don't mix, right? The mind can catch up sometimes to these things. We're in situations, we don't really know why, we're confused. And honestly, if the mind tries to override and make decisions, it's likely going to make decisions out of protection, which is another way of saying decisions out of fear, versus matters of the soul and matters of the heart. We're going to operate differently, right? And so there might just be something of like just being mindful of where you're coming from right now, being mindful of decisions you might be considering making. This could also be symbolic. It doesn't always have to do with a person. It doesn't have to do with the person right now, I mean. But it's kind of like I'm getting this as a symbol for like things that you really want. You might be experiencing them, and there might be some like questioning of why something's happening, or there might be like doubting, right? It's like good things are happening, maybe like this dream come true in whatever area of your life. For most of you, I feel like it might have to do with a person, but it's just like good things are happening, and it's almost like you're psyching yourself out. And yeah, let's get deeper. Stay off TikTok is what I'm hearing, you guys. Don't take advice from TikTok. Take it from me. There's just like so much more to your situation that I'm really getting it's necessary to remember that your path is your path, and other people's experiences on earth, sure, they can sometimes point us, they can validate our, deepest fears. I think I just saw the Three of Swords. And they can also validate our greatest desires, our greatest aspirations. It's just important, whatever this is, you guys, whatever this is around, it's like you might be psyching yourself out, and you might be seeing like, it's almost like it's hard to break down. It's a very subtle energy that I'm getting, but it's almost like you guys are being pulled back and forth between matters of the mind and matters of the heart. It's like you're doubting something in your life. You're unable to like remove the collective's perspective or the collective's opinion about something in your life. And it's like, I feel like you're getting confirmation on both sides, like confirming that everything's going to be okay, and then confirming that, things aren't as good as you think they are. And it's kind of like this, the underlying message here is that, yeah, there are certain patterns that move through the collective, but it's important to remember that you are your own being in and of yourself. And you have your own intricacies, you have your own lessons to explore. And for the most part, the people that are drawn to this channel are just like above and beyond in terms of their spiritual development. They've had many lifetimes on Earth and most likely other planetary systems as well. And you're just not going to have the same lessons. You're just not going to learn in the same way that the collective learns. So it's like you can't take advice from people that are still like operating within that average level of consciousness, and whatever this has to do with. It could do with career. It's matters of the heart, matters of the soul. And it could be different aspects of your life as well. It could have to do with your partner. It could have to do with like, wow, I finally met this person. And it's like, never did I ever before think that I could fall so deeply. And now I'm talking about marriage, and I'm talking about kids and things that like I never thought I would talk about before, and doubts creep in, right? Or it's like, yeah, just the remnants of past traumas or remnants of the collective mentality, right? We're connected by a morphogenetic field as species on this planet. It's been well studied. And so, of course, those ways of thinking we're going to pick up on them, but we don't have to take the bait, right? There's something here that is like, it's more than meets the eye. And it's something that's very delicate, very intricate. And you can't really look outside of yourself for the answers or for confirmation or direction, right? You can ask for confirmation, absolutely. And you'll know what message is meant for you when it comes. But it's like, it's a very spiritual kind of thing that you're going through, whatever it is, whatever aspect of your life. Let's get deeper with the tarot. Yeah. Oh, we have 4 of Swords. Beautiful. I just saw the 3. Oh, we do have the 3 of Swords. I definitely was picking up on 3 of Swords energy, and we have the 10 of Wands. So I feel like you guys are feeling very burdened, almost like you want to give up something. You're not sure if you should progress down a certain path or down a certain timeline with someone or in an area of your life. And I feel like it's because like your mind is kind of making like a monster out of like a little molehill. I know that's not how the phrase goes, but that's how it came out. It's like, I feel like you guys are starting to emanate so brightly, and you're starting to get really beautiful external validation of how much work you've done. And so now it's like all of your spiritual insights and your beautiful philosophies of life are being put to the test, because now it's like deep traumas are being surfaced. Wouldn't be surprised if for most of you, it does have to do with the realm of relationship. If you guys are on Instagram or TikTok, go check out my most recent video. At least I think I published it like a week ago or like 6 days ago, but it's called, what did I call it? It's called True Love Annihilates the Ego. Becoming free, or something about, walking the path of freedom through divine union or sacred union. Okay, it's kind of what I'm getting here. It's like, on one hand, you never experienced such deep love or such deep fulfillment in this area of your life. And to the extent that you're going to feel these high highs, you're also going to be required to swing to the other end of the pendulum to integrate these unhealed aspects of self. And so that's why, a lot of people tend to like fall in and out of love really quickly. They fall in so deeply because this is someone who fits their karmic propensity so well. And on the same end of this, or on the other side of the coin, it's also triggering their most unhealed aspects. And so if one or both people are not aware of the process of purification, or that this is something that's going to happen, that it's inevitable, this is what a sacred union is, walking each other to freedom, then it can become quite toxic really quick. And we can blame our partner for making us feel a certain way, even if it's fresh, we can blame them even though it's fresh and they've done nothing to like not earn our trust or to, have us look, not trust them or feel doubtful. They could be just like the most loving, caring, pure-hearted individual, but if we're not aware of the mechanism of alchemy, the mechanism of purification, then we can blame them for how we feel, or feel like, oh, I'm feeling off about this. Like that must mean that there's something to actually feel off about, versus like, no, that's just like some deep-seated shit, like hold your freaking horses, bro. Like you're good. I feel like there's some deep purging happening, and it's like seeing beneath the surface of things and not pinning it on your partner, or not just like not believing your mind and believing the stories it's going to try to run as your subconscious stuff comes up. Your mind is going to want to attach a narrative to the purges that are happening. And if you can just let the purges happen with this 4 of Swords energy, this is a beautiful combination. If you can let the purges happen without attaching a narrative to it, it's just going to come and go. Versus if you attach those narratives to it, if you start to like read into your partner's behavior too much now, or, whatever, it's just going to be burdensome and it's not going to last very long, so, or it's, going to turn toxic or something, so it's about really allowing this period to be a deeply purifying thing for you. And it's very beautiful when you can share this type of journey with someone. And when you're, or, it doesn't just have to be lovers. It could be kids. It could be, whatever takes you into the deepest layers of love that you could not experience through normal relationships, and also to the other end that can trigger your most deepest wounds in a way that most other relationships can't. Okay. So purifying, it's good. Everything's good. There's nothing to really be mistrusting about. And it's also the most sacred and beautiful journey, one of them, in my most humble of opinions, that you could walk with someone. Okay, so let's see resistances. Yeah, so essentially it's not what you think it is. Staying out of the mind and not letting your mind get the best of you, not reading too much into things. You're not alone. Excuse me. So yeah, I feel like how you feel about your partner is how they feel about you, or whatever the situation is. It's just a reminder that this is not something that is like, uncommon, that the healthiest, this is that probably the healthiest relationship I've ever been in, my current partner. It is, not probably, it is the most beautiful, loving, pure, trusting, just like fairy tale love. But also it's someone that I've had probably the most, I don't want to, maybe conflict with, or it's like constructive conflict, or like someone that has just like taken me into the deepest, like yuckiest parts of myself that I feel are yucky. I know they're not, it's part of the human experience. I wouldn't call it yucky to someone else, but just because we tend to be so critical of ourselves. Yeah. So it's part of it, and, just trusting this chapter you're in. Resistances, love begins. This is so beautiful. Yeah. Like, it's like, this is what you've been waiting for. And this is what you've been preparing for through all of your, all of these years, walking the journey alone. Maybe you've been in and out of like relationships. It doesn't really matter. You've been preparing for this. And on one end, this is everything you ever could imagine. And on another hand, there's like doubts, right? There's, again, protection mechanisms we've developed from traumas earlier in incarnation. And so we start to feel our hearts open again. And so of course, it's like, it's been tender. Like, you were at a certain capacity of open-heartedness and you were jabbed, right? You were like, someone stabbed it. And so now you get back to that, you close down a little bit, but now it's expanding. It's like the Grinch, right? That part in the Grinch where he's like, what is that I'm feeling? Or his heart's like getting bigger and he's like, what is this? And it's just like, yeah, it's tender, right? We like, last time we were there, it's something like undercut it, stabbed us. And so it's a little tendies, but you're good. It's beautiful. Love begins. This is exactly what I feel like you've been waiting for. And this is the real deal, in terms of what I'm seeing about where this can go and what you guys can create together. Just not letting your mind and those past things, people, energies kind of override your better judgment. Because I feel like a deeper part of you like knows like the truth of this dynamic or this chapter in your life. And it's hard to believe, or it's like too good to be true almost, or something. But, they're feeling exactly what you're feeling. And yeah, and in their own ways, they're probably also spinning their own webs or whatever. But the more you can talk about this and be open and honest, I feel like the easier. This is like one of the most purifying paths you can walk as an awakened individual, because you see where you're really at versus like where you thought you were when these wounds weren't triggered so easily. It's like easier to exist and, whatever. And then we meet a divine counterpart that, again, reflects our karmic propensities back to us. We fit each other's karmic patterns like a glove. And it's like, okay, here we are, this container of love to help set each other free. Deception and envy. Don't believe your mind. Don't believe your thoughts. New beginnings. Yeah. Love begins. New beginnings. This is a new chapter all around. I feel like you're, like, I just think you're just a little doubtful. Like, so much good is happening. And like, I just am getting the sense that you guys have done a lot of work And maybe there's a part of you that never thought you could feel this way, or never thought that life could get this good in this way. And so now it's like you're waiting for the rug to be pulled, and stop that. Group 3. Stop that. You've been doing the work. You've been transmuting your shadow, and it's only a matter of time. What have we been saying on this channel? What have, the greatest masters and sages and teachers said to us on this path, on this spiritual path? The better it gets, the better it fucking gets. And it's getting fucking good for you. And it's only going to get better. And you can trust life. Your heart has led you here. You can trust it. You can trust that life is benign and wants the best for you, and knows even better than you how to get you there. And, brought you this beautiful person, this beautiful dynamic. Why would it rip it away from you? And your person, or, the other people that are involved in this dynamic are having similar fears as you as well. And again, I feel like too, in the spiritual communities, it's like, don't get attached and yada, yada, and all this bullshit that, again, it's coming from protection. It's coming from, I don't want to get too attached because I don't want someone to have the ability to hurt me. Okay, that's not open-heartedness. It's like, take my whole heart. This is my whole heart. This is where my love flows naturally. So I'm going to lean into those directions and areas where my love flows the most naturally. I'm not going to overthink it and then just be fucking surprised. Doors are going to open left and right that you didn't even know were there. Doors are going to open, and you're not going to know how, but I'm telling you how now, because your heart chakra is in control of the dial of your magnetism. Your heart chakra controls the dial of your magnetism. So protection mechanisms, resistances of the heart are dimming your magnetism. The more open-hearted you can become, you're lifting, you're brightening your magnetism. Okay. And so this is beautiful. This is a really good unfolding. And I feel like your mind just might be playing tricks on you because there's some trauma that you've been through. But yeah, go check out the post that I've been making of me and my partner on Instagram. And then that most recent video as well, if this applies to you in this way today, in terms of what these dynamics are here for. It's work. It's a lot of work, but it's a journey that is so fulfilling. And every time I have brought a doubt or been like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. I know it's not you. There's nothing about you in this, but I know that I just need to air out my ego. I need to release the shame around this. I need to just be honest, because I know we're so connected. There's such a deep spiritual connection you have with this other individual. You're going to feel it. They're going to feel it. And so it's kind of like there's nowhere to hide. The ego has nowhere to hide, and that's fucking vulnerable. That's fucking scary. All right. I get it. But every time you go through that process, you're going to come back even deeper. Like I feel like I love my person, my partner, even more when we have to go through these things, that it's really uncomfortable. We have very uncomfortable conversations, things that my traumatized self, my ego doesn't want to go, doesn't want to touch. But because we have those conversations, I am left feeling so much more connected and like, fuck yeah, like we're fucking doing this. And, we can do anything. That kind of thing. So there's a lot of new energy. This is a very new, beautiful chapter for you. Very beautiful unfolding. Let's get into your gifts and talents that help you move forward through this. The cosmic heart. Hell yes. Hell yes. You cannot make this shit up. This is all about the heart. Heart, 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 heart. Every single section has something about the heart. Okay. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Keep your heart open, seeing not with your physical eyes. Do not judge by appearances. Do not believe what the subconscious is trying to suggest to you. What is your heart whispering to you about situations? Because when the heart's involved, it's fucking good. I got you, bro. We got you. We're taking care of you. The universe, spirit, your higher self will always whisper sweet nothings into your heart, that it's all good. Regardless of if this person is there or not, it's all good. But you can trust this person is here. They're fucking here. They're showing up for you. And you guys are both meant to be catalysts for each other's greatest unfoldings in a way that people in your life and their life have never been able to match. Okay. So you can be sure about that you guys hold the key to each other's highest unfolding, in a way that no one else can. No one else is meant to in this life. This is a very sacred divine contract you guys have. Okay. And so that's something that I've come to terms with. Again, I've had to release my own protection mechanisms and ideas of like attachment, etc. It's like, no, life has shown me a truth that I cannot shake. And so we must always go based off our own experiences versus what other people might have told us from their relative truth. In this moment, my relative truth has shown me that there are people in our lives that are meant to come in, and without them, we would not become the people we're meant to be. You are that person for this person, and they are that for you. Okay. And again, I'm not saying staying in abusive relationships, etc. This seems like one of those things where it's a very loving, very gentle, very beautiful, just like cosmic love, man. Like, this is your fucking person. Y'all have been doing this dance for ages together, and you're coming together to reignite your cosmic heart to a degree. You guys were already doing the work without them. You wouldn't have been able to call in a counterpart to this degree if you were not already doing the work. Okay. And so, yeah, one of your greatest gifts is that you are such an open-hearted person. Your heart goes before you. And that's going to get you through this, because I feel like no matter what your mind, it's getting scary. There's some doubts that are coming up. Sure. Your mind is trying to play tricks on you, but I mean, you're in this. Pile 3, you are in this. You're not going anywhere. Okay. So you might as well enjoy it. The courageous beanie, multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. There's nowhere to hide. Okay. And so again, protection mechanisms are like, I don't feel like I want to show my full self to this person. All sides of yourself. And I feel like in this case, it's speaking mainly of the parts of yourself that are less glamorous. Like, I've had a conversation with my partner, like, many times, especially during freaking eclipse season. Holy moly, did that throw me for a spin. And I felt like my heart was being ripped out of my chest several times and put in a high-speed blender just for funsies, several times, by, this beautiful cosmic heart, this universe. And don't regret it, or I'm not like upset about it. We're not upset, universe, but it was a lot. It was freaking intense. And I had to have the conversation with my partner. If you didn't have to see this side of me, trust me, I would not, like, it would be my honor, or it would be so awesome if you never had to see this. But this is what I'm working with. This is my karma. And maybe if I had a counterpart before you that allowed me to get this deep in terms of vulnerability, I would have had some of this worked through more. But I haven't. I have not had the opportunity to heal this aspect of myself until now, because you are someone that my heart, spirit, self, higher self is telling me it is safe to finally go there with this person. It is safe to go there with them. And, sorry, not sorry, I guess, but thanks, and so those types of things, showing all sides of yourself, knowing it's all so beautiful. When you're with the right person, it doesn't matter. It's like their insecurities or their flaws or those things that they wish were not there almost make them more attractive, because to this person, you are the most divine thing ever. And for them to see you so real and so raw and so human makes you more divine. Okay. And vice versa. Again, how they feel about you is same, right? Like, it's same. If you want to know how they feel, check in with yourself, because that's how they feel. All right. And I would even be as bold to say that you guys might be a little bit more flighty than them. You might be a little bit more flighty than them. Okay. Lastly, the next step your higher self would like you to take. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. So there's nothing to figure out. There's nothing to hide from. Joyful presence, okay? You'll get everything you need, including the insights around this relationship, including seeing beyond the current situation, the things that you need to help, move you forward, to help remind you that your heart can remain open. It needs to remain open. Joyful presence. You're going to attract the support you need, whether that be like verbal support, whether that be, your redheaded curly friend on YouTube or whatever, the validation that your deepest heart of hearts knows. Okay. You'll attract that. And you were connected. Remember the state that you were in before you met this person. What was the vibration you were in? You were connected to your higher self. You were dancing in love. You were already a part of this timeline to attract a connection of this velocity, of this vibrancy, of this level, this degree. You were already connected to that, right? So don't bring your past into this. What is a soulmate? Ram Dass says a soulmate is, you wouldn't recognize them unless you're in your soul. Otherwise, it's just the ego attaching these labels to make, to have its way, right? To just make something seem better than it is or worse than it is, whatever. But you were already in your soul when you met this person. All right. You can trust that, right? I do. I trust what happens, what flows from me being in flow more than I do not. What? More than I trust when things come from my own mind, right? When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract what I am, essentially. You were in your soul, you were in your heart. That's why you attracted this person that's also in their soul and their heart. And again, it doesn't mean that they're not also operating with some degree of protection mechanisms. Most of us do, okay? But you guys are helping to set each other free. Lastly, don't let your past hold you back. What the? I have missed this so much, you guys. I have missed this so much. Do not let these past traumas, do not attach past narratives to this present person. They are so different. They are more different than anyone you've ever met before. You are different than anyone they have ever met before. Don't hold their past against them. Don't compare yourself to any, you're incomparable. This dynamic is incomparable, okay? This is like once in a lifetime kind of shit, all right? And I don't normally talk like this, but it's what's coming through. So I'm gonna say it, okay? No reservations. Yeah, I guess I don't need that anymore. But yeah, don't let your past hold you back. Don't let your subconscious mind, these things, right, get the best of you. Don't assume that this person is anything like anyone you've ever met before. Even if there's certain things that higher self is, you guys are so deeply connected that their higher self is almost going to like, don't take this the wrong way. Don't make this mean more than what it is. But it's like they're almost will do little small things that remind you of a past dynamic or past things that you need to work through in order to like really like push that button. So you have like that kind of like big reaction or release or response that you need to like be like, wow, this is fucking here. And a lot of the times you don't need to do anything, right? Spirit is reminding me, you don't need to do anything about these things except meet them with compassion, to see them, to voice them. Our awareness is the most subtle thing. It's subtler than thought. It's subtler than belief. It's subtler than these subconscious patterns. And so that's going to break up the rigidity around these patterns, around these subconscious things. Okay. So this is a gift because you guys are helping to bring up to the surface these subconscious things that have been in your energetic field, weighing you down without you even knowing it, because you have not been in a partnership to this degree before to really take you there. And so these have kind of been like energetic anchors weighing you down without you even knowing it. And so what a gift to share this journey with someone else in the deepest love, the deepest trust. And you can go in and cut those cords together and you're both just going to be like skyrocket. This is so beautiful. This is so fucking beautiful, you guys. And I'm so happy for you. This is just the beginning in so many ways. Just the beginning, new chapter, however long you've been with this person. I'm getting kind of new vibes for sure. Like within the past like year or so. But you know, if you're drawn here, trust that. If you're still around, if you're still listening to this, it's for you, right? I'm going to leave this reading here for now. Group number 3. Thank you so much for being here. If this reading resonated today, my friends, please like this video. Please comment down below. Leave like a crystal ball if this was your pile today. Comment anything that came up, like this video, subscribe. This all helps other beings receive these healing messages, validating messages when and if they need them. And I will see you very soon. Much love.